Hello, this is Marlon, and welcome to our brain training blog again. And today we have an interesting topic, which is how to keep the brain functioning at its best. And I think this topic is very essential in our world today. So, Isaac, how can I make my brain function at its optimum best? Can you please explain this to me? Thank you.
Thank you, Marlon. Steve Jobs, CEO of Apple, made a profound statement, and I quote: "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." Thinking is the key. In our last session, we talked about a process of thinking, how to get new ideas. And in that session, we suggested that early in the morning you take an hour whereby you call it thinking time. This is where you create new ideas. You tap into the over 90% of a virgin vein of gold within our brain that are not utilized. And we suggested that you get a sheet or a book you call the thinking time book, and you number 1 to 21, and you begin to set goals and you begin to go into your creative thinking, whereby you dig into your mind to get solutions for whatever your goal or your aim is. Another thing we have to make mention of, that the brain works on focus. You have to focus on one thing at a time, one project at a time. Is very important, but we'll go into details in another session. Dr. Richard Restark, a neuroscientist, in his book Think Smart, suggests 1 mile walk a day and learning 3 new words daily for the rest of your life will help your brain function well. Dr. Daniel Amen of the Amen Clinic suggests 1 multivitamin and 1 fish oil capsule daily is good for your brain. The human brain is very curious and wants to learn new things daily. So by exercising and learning new words, put your brain in a very good functioning mode. But the number one key that we have to remember is thinking, learning how to think properly, and we will get into details with that. Thank you.
Thank you for that information, Isaac. And I have a very good question that I think will intrigue many people. What can I eat to improve my brain? And what should I avoid if I want to make sure my brain is always functioning at its optimum best?
Well, Marlon, thank you for that question. What are the best food for the brain? Well, before we get into that, Marlon, we have to realize 80% of our brain is water, 20% is tissue, right? So the number one food for the brain is water. And I will go on record to say best water is the number one food for the brain. When best water is available, good water is not enough. But for your brain to function at its top, you have to feed your brain with the best water available. But when it comes to foodstuffs, there are a lot of things we can mention. Some recommend avocado, blueberries, wild salmon, nuts, seeds. Of course, on nuts you have to avoid the season and the one with a lot of sugar. Oatmeals, beans, olive oil, brown rice, tuna, garlic, eggs, green leafy vegetables, tomatoes. These are very good for the brain. And if on that, I will recommend a book written by a very good neuroscientist that I follow, Dr. Amen, who has come up with an excellent cookbook for the brain called Change Your Brain, Change Your Body Cookbook. And you can get, people can get the copies from our website, and that detail recipes, that about 60 recipes that will help you to cook good meals to enhance your brain. And but there are also things that we have to avoid which are not good for the brain. Things like alcohol. Alcohol drains the brain. It kills the cells of the brain. Corn syrup and sugar, nicotine, high carbohydrate lunch makes you sluggish and don't allow the brain to function well. Thank you very much. This ends our session.
Isaac, thank you for that marvelous information on the brain. And remember to stay tuned to the Brain Training blog for more interesting things on our brain. Thank you and have a wonderful day.